Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the commodities update, where we update you guys on natural gas, oil, as well as gold and silver and the US dollar. I'll be recording the stock market update video right after this one, where we do QQ as well as S&P 500, Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, and I think that's all. All right, so let's take a look at natural gas. And I put the timestamps in the comments below. So if you guys want to skip to any of the ones that you want to look at, then click those timestamps. So natural gas today, pretty much an inside bar. So not much difference compared to Friday. But we got a couple of clues that we are still holding above this 2.62 level. So you can see that the bulls are playing defense here. It's a quadruple bottom pretty much over here. And as long as bulls are able to hold above that, we are okay, because this level is pretty much the prior pivot for the daily uptrend. So this is the initial move. That's the pivot being set. So that's the daily uptrend confirmed right there when we broke this high. And now we pretty much are backtesting that prior pivot. So if we don't break below that prior pivot, then bulls are okay. But if we do break below that prior pivot, then we're likely going to come down and test this uptrending support, which has been bouncing off for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we come down here, potentially another bounce 7 times. So we'll see. And we're getting pretty close to the end of the tightening range. Even though we had a break over here, it's still not a break on the weekly chart. And this is the tightening equilibrium. You can see big move down, big move up, gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And very soon we'll probably break out. If you go to the weekly charts, you can see even that break we had above is pretty much the upper wick. So we still haven't actually broken out of it on a weekly time frame. So we'll see if we end up having anything close above this downtrending resistance on the weekly time frame, or we'll get something close below it. We'll get volume. You'll see volume come in when these levels break. But overall, the big picture, we're still going sideways, because you can see very clear resistance at this 2.86 that we have tried already 6 times and cannot close above that level. Same thing down here. This support looking line right here, 2.46 and 2.53. You can see the amount of times that we tried it down here and cannot break below that. So we're trading right in between of those two, and very soon we'll get a break on the daily time frame. So we take a look at the hourly. It's still very choppy, and as long as bulls can hold above this level, we may get a bounce here soon. But bulls I need to play some offense, because this is just defense. You can see it's just been bouncing, and then there's no more offense. Come back, plays defense, nothing going on. Again, plays defense again, nothing going on. We need to break the top of the structure for us to come from an hourly uptrend back to bulls' favor, for us to potentially say this 2.62 is a temporary bottom for now. But yeah, so that hourly uptrend, we need to break above. Let's see. So we're below this pivot. So now we need back to square one. So we need a big enough move, and for that to form hourly uptrend to break above the prior high, because this low is lower than this low. Otherwise, we pretty much got it right here, but it just, I call it a double top because it's such a close range here. And we'll see bulls end up holding this level, and if we do, we're probably coming up back up to test this 2.7 level if when we bounce from here. Let's take a look at UNG, which is the tradable ticker for Natgas. Hourly holding a lot better. Let's go to the daily first. Daily, you can see natural gas was an inside bar, but UNG was a bull break. We went above yesterday's, Friday's high. So that's a good sign for UNG. And we pretty much tested this 6.79 level. That's a key resistance and support level. Every time we are either above or below it, it's going to act as a resistance or support. So when we're below it, it's going to act as resistance. And pretty much we did reject from that level, but we're still in striking distance. So it doesn't mean it's game over, because You guys know how I talk about hourly trends. So this was an hourly uptrend confirmed right here. And then we hit that resistance wall. You can see that big sell just from that once we hit the resistance. But bulls held it because we made this pivot is higher than the prior pivots. So the hourly uptrend is still intact and we are still in striking distance. So let's see tomorrow if net gas ends up bouncing here from that quadruple bottom right here, we can do a very likely retest. That's 6.79 level again. And it's only, let's see, yeah, it's only 0.7% away. So very close to striking distance. And the hourly uptrend will be our guide. So if we bounce and reject from that again and break below this pivot, that's an hourly downtrend confirmed. And we're likely topping out here, at least in the near short term. And we'll see. Yeah, if that happens, we're coming back down here to test the 6.63 again, see if it'll hold or not. We'll start striking distance. So if we do come back, retest, break above, I'm looking down at this downtrending falling wedge. You can see resistance. So we'll probably come back to test this level. That will be 6.93, around that range, or close to 6.97 ish. And this is the support for that rising wedge. Sorry, falling wedge. But yeah, we're closer to resistance than we're to support. So we'll see if we can break out of that soon. Not. And we need net gas to definitely break above its resistance, downtrending resistance line as well for UNG to also get some fuel to break out of that too at the same time. All right, take a look at oil. So someone suggested that I should add oil into the commodities update, and I was like, yeah, I should do that as well. It's a lot of people look at oil. Let's take a look. So I haven't looked at oil chart in a while, but we'll pretty much hit key resistance right here. You can see rejection, bunch of rejections up here. This is a key resistance zone. So, and that zone was right at the 82.18. So pretty much right on the dot. You can see how close we are pretty much on all these wicks. Whole bunch of times over here too, rejection. And take a look if we form any kind of trends. So this was the initial rejection. So no signs of red flags yet over here because we're still in a daily uptrend. And now we bounced. Triple. Friday's high was higher than Thursday's high. So we can call that a pivot. Some people call this a triple top. You can call this initial just one drop, but some will call this a higher low. Sorry, lower high, meaning this high is lower than the prior high, forming a pivot. And now we broke below this pivot and call this a daily downtrend. You guys to see what you guys want to call, but let's see what percentage it is. Let's call it we can call it a pivot, and we can call this a daily downtrend. Confirming. So far, we bounced off the 12 EMA, and it's lacking a little bit of a follow through from after this daily downtrend. So let's zoom into the hourly chart to take a look at what happened there. And so we go down. So hourly chart is also in downtrend. You see initial drop, bounce, pivot set. Now we broke below the prior low. So that's a hourly downtrend. So as long as hourly downtrend is intact, even when we had a bounce, as long as we don't break above the prior pivot, it will continue. So we'll see if that continues or not. But if we do break above that, then we're back to a neutral trend. See, if we big enough bounce, if we get a big enough bounce, then bulls will have a chance to shape up this hourly uptrend back to their favor. And this could just be it from the drop. See how much we have dropped so far. 3%. Yeah. So if we confirm an hourly uptrend back around these levels, then that could potentially be all the pullback there was for oil. But if we do continue pullback, I'm looking at 78.8 right here, this support zone for a bounce, for a temporary bounce, if we continue to pull back with the weakness, because that is a really key level. Go back to here. You can see all these rejections from over here. And you can see we rejected there as well 4 times before we got above it. So when we come down to it, it would act as strong support initially. And we'll see how strong the bounce is going to be. Weekly trend still perfect intact. No signs of red flags, just a weekly consolidation. Huge move, weekly consolidation, big move up. Weekly consolidation just started. So we'll have to see how the daily shapes up. If we get more pullback on the daily and when we will mark the weekly bottom or not. Yeah. Healthy chart for bulls. Let's take a look at gold. So gold, weak day today because the dollar is just not stopping. The US dollar is a headwind for gold, all the metals, as well as stock market. And you can see we broke above key resistance today. And so gold is inversely correlated. And it looks like it's just tightening up here now. Big move down, big move up, gets smaller and smaller. Very likely just going to tighten up into or later this week. But if dollar continues to rip, we may break this low. 1908 is the support that I'll be looking at. Bulls want to see them hold above this pivot, which is 1909. Because if they don't, then that's a daily downtrend back, confirmed back to bear's favor. So if they do hold that level and bounce from here, then it's that equilibrium. It's continuing to tighten up into October. So right now, that's the most two likely scenarios. Now, no signs of bounce on the gold because dollar pretty much closed at high of his day as well. So gold closed at low of his day, and we're pretty much at that short-term support. It's not a lot here, but you can see bulls are trying to hold there a little bit. If we do break that, we're coming back down to this range of support, which is 1909 range. Yeah, if it holds, we'll get that equilibrium. Continue tighten up. All right, let's take a look at the US dollar, see what. So we've broken above key resistance at this 105.6. Now we are back above the top of this range. So the next level of resistance for me would be right around here. Yeah, roughly that area. So we 106.2. We were pretty close to it. And let's zoom into the hourly chart to see what, if we get any clues for any signs of slowdowns or not. At this moment, no, it's still an hourly bull flag. You see, we have one here. And it just, I remember talking about this, I think on Friday, saying we're pretty much in striking distance to break that 105, even though we rejected multiple times. And yeah, because we're just so close to it. And the only true rejection I would say is when if we had an hourly downtrend here, but we didn't. It was just a sell off, no trend changes, so no structure changes for the bears. So every bulls was still in control. And once we break above that, you can see every time we form a higher low, every time the pivot is higher, meaning it's a good sign for the bull as well. Meaning every time it dips, bulls want to buy higher, and this gets higher, 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 and then we break. So that's when we get the volume. You can see all these full volume come in once we broke that key resistance. And now we're just forming another bull flag right here. Here real quick. Yep, still above 38.2% of the retracement from the bottom of the move to top of move. We only retrace probably 37, 36%. So that's still a bull flag as long as it chops around here. If we break above today's high, then that's a bull flag confirmed. And if that confirms, we're probably coming up to 106.21. But if it drops below this pivot's low, then that's a negated bull flag. Negated bull flag doesn't mean it's game over for the bulls. It just means that it's not as strong as we thought it would be. All right, let's take a look at silver. Let me see. Okay. Silver is very similar to gold. Weak day today because of the dollar strength. And essentially, we are continuing to tighten up. And although we're in a daily uptrend here, And this drop still also did not break the prior pivot. So still got some hope for silver bulls. And essentially the big picture I'm looking at is this downtrending resistance line and this bottom of the support. So it's a big triangle and it's getting tighter and tighter. So you can see big move down, big move up, big move down. It's getting tighter. Every move gets smaller and smaller. And it'll probably take us into October until probably get around here. Then we are close in range. Because the thing is that every time we move from the bottom to the top, right, we use up 12% of your bull strength moves, right? All this. So bulls are running, they run, and now they're tired once they get up here, right? So they used up all their ammos. Now, if they wanted to break that resistance, they can't anymore. And you have bears defending here, bears shorting here, all that kind of things, right? Because you use up all the ammos because we ran up straight to it. Same thing with bears. This is just a straight move down. And they got exhausted here. Bulls are buying, bulls are playing defense, shorts are covering, and now we bounce, right? So we get something like let's see for any of those here. Maybe something a little bit like this, but on the like on the way up, we form supports along the way, consolidate, go sideways a little bit, and then test the resistance where we have been resting while we were running. We run a little bit, we rest, we run a little bit, we rest, and when we finally hit that level, bulls still have strength to go, then we may potentially break out of that, or vice versa. Obviously, if we come down here, drop around, take a break for the bears, and then finally they got to this level, consolidate sideways a little bit, and then next thing you know, right, break that. So this is also the psychology of how fast you move to a level, how fast you move to resistance, how fast you move to support also matters. Yeah, but as of now, daily uptrend still intact. As long as bulls hold above this pivot, 22.8, daily uptrend is intact. And let's take a look at the hourly here real quick. Yeah, pretty much same thing. Dollar shot straight up and then just went sideways for the rest of the day. So silver went straight down because it's inverse correlated, and then it went sideways. Yeah, not much to really. This is obviously hourly bear flag, and we'll see if it continues. So if hourly bull flag confirms on the dollar, hourly bear flag is going to confirm on gold, silver, and then we'll be looking at this pivot to see if it breaks or not. All right, that's all I got for you guys, and feel free to subscribe, like, or share if you guys made it this far, and feel free to just support the channel and join the members. I do members video on Sundays as well. And I'll see you guys at the stock market update video if you guys trade the stock market or the 7 mega cap tech stocks. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, comment below. And have a great rest of you guys' day.